Good afternoon and welcome to the Frankfort, Alberta Area Schools Fine Arts and Athletic Complex and the 140th Commencement Ceremony at Frankfort High School. Please rise as our graduates enter their gymnasium. Good afternoon.
And welcome to Frankfort High School as we recognize and celebrate this wonderful graduating class of 2022. Today is also a celebration for parents, siblings, and extended family members. Thank you for providing your guidance, support, and wisdom, even though there were times they probably didn't want it, but I'm sure they did in the long run. Thank you so much for helping our graduates get seated here in front of us today. As educators, what we do each and every day is a work in progress. We really never know how it's going to end. This day is a culmination of a lot of people's hard work and dedication and desire to do the very best we can for our young adults. A job well done, and I appreciate everyone's efforts to make Frankfort, Alberta area schools a very special place. With that said, thank you to our teachers, our support staff, administrative team, for making a difference in each and everyone's lives, not only seated here in our purple and gold, but all of our students across the district. Thank you. And a huge thank you to our community at large. I think we forget the support and love that our community members that don't have students here in school anymore, but they continue to support us and our community. If you want a feel-good moment, take a minute, or maybe a couple hours, or skip or move through it as quickly as you want. Go to our webpage and watch Class Night 2022. Thousands, literally thousands of dollars were awarded to our students as they prepare to head to university campuses, junior colleges, trade schools, or certification programs. The outpouring of our support continues to simply amaze me. And graduates, someday you will recognize what that means to you. Over the next couple weeks, all of you seated in front of me in your robes and caps, I hope you take a moment to thank those people that have had an impact in your life. It's very, very important, and I hope you look back and do that. To the class of 2022, you have really set the bar. You guys have done an amazing job. Your ability to adapt and endure and succeed during the last 2 years of COVID challenges and all that came with that disrupted your high school experience. You just kept moving along. And we really, really, as a staff, appreciate that. So now what? How does one move from the protective bubble of Frankfort High School? What's in store for you? Do you have a plan? What is your plan? What if you're not sure? The key is don't panic. Take a deep breath, breathe, and rely on the people who have helped you in the past. Your next chapter in life is about to unfold. Challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone. We're pretty comfortable here. Challenge yourselves to see what else is out there in the big world. Make an effort to meet people that are not like you. Success and sometimes your own survival comes from surrounding yourself with great people. Don't be afraid to learn from others who are wiser than you. Probably one of the smartest things I've done in my career is surround myself with people who are a lot smarter than me. You surround yourself with people who help you get better. Over time, I challenge you to determine what defines you as a person and not who defines you. What will your personal roadmap look like? Part of life is experience the many peaks and valleys you will encounter. You lived some of that the last 2 years. Celebrate the peaks, and more importantly, remember to develop skills and coping strategies when you hit those valleys and you wonder, what am I going to do next? Breathe and ask for help. As you venture to new places, meet new and interesting people, please keep this in mind. People might forget what you say, but they won't ever forget how you make them feel. Use the 24-hour rule. Don't be so quick to fire off a text or post something to make yourself feel better. You never look good trying to make someone else look bad. I think this is one of our biggest challenges. Face-to-face conversations are sometimes more challenging, but definitely more meaningful and more transparent. When you exit down that little aisle you just entered, you will be a member of Frankfort High School alumni. You will have one common bond. You will have the common bond of being a member of the graduating class of 2022, and we are so proud of you for doing that. Congratulations on reaching a milestone. It's a bigger one than you think. Enjoy your day, your evening, your time together, your fun time tonight when you'll be back in here having a great time and creating some of those memories of your last moments as a Frankfort High School student. This is truly, truly a great day, and on behalf of the Frankfort Alberta area schools and all of the people who make this work, we appreciate you being here today, and thank you very much, and congratulations. It's a great day. It is my privilege to introduce Frankfort Alberta Area School Board's President, Stephanie Scott, who will introduce our commencement speaker. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Jeff, and congratulations to the seniors. It's a big day. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker. Will Johnson is CEO of the Harris Poll, one of the world's largest international public opinion, market research, and strategy firms. He is cited frequently in the media on changes in public sentiment and behavior based on data from the Harris Poll's proprietary surveys. Will is also a syndicated columnist. His weekly essays have appeared in the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, Harvard Business Review, Forbes, Fortune, Politico, Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Fast Company, Boston Globe, Chicago Tribune, and Detroit Free Press, among other publications. In partnership with U.S. News and World Report and the Wharton School, he presented at the World Economic Forum at Davos in 2016. Will is a member of the Young Presidents Organization, the Economic Club of Chicago, and serves on the board of directors for Tutoring Chicago. He holds a master's in business administrations from Northwestern's Kellogg School of Management and graduated magna cum laude from Lafayette College. Will and his family have a home in Frankfort where they spend their summers. The family has had a home in northern Michigan for over 4 generations, and it sounds like they might be entertaining coming here more permanently. Not sure if I was supposed to share that, but please join me in welcoming Will Johnson.
Thank you very much. I realize I'm one of the last things standing between you guys and your diplomas, so I'm going to try to go fast and be brief here. In one sense, this ceremony marks the end of a journey for you, or multiple journeys. 4 years in high school, more than a dozen years all told. Nice going, you guys, you did it. But of course, this is not an end of a road for you, but a widening of it. A road now as broad and long as the horizon itself. It's like leaving the bay and going to Lake Michigan. And who knows what's beyond. So I'm honored to be present and to suggest a marker or two as this next voyage begins. And as a pollster, someone professionally dedicated to deciphering the world as it is, I feel uniquely well suited to offer some guiding thoughts, because polling is very much like life. It's not about black and white extremes. It's about understanding the meaningful nuances in the middle, about navigating uncertainty and trying to understand what's likely to come next. At best, it's a search for truth. So with that in mind, I'd like to share 5 things that the 20-plus years in polling have taught me about the journey you guys have coming up. Lesson 1, there is a power in the aggregate. If I tell you that Kian, Jaron, and Maddie all say they are grateful to be part of the Frankfort High School community, you'll probably think, that's a nice, polite thing to say at graduation. But if I tell you that our actual poll, we surveyed all these guys, 86% of you are proud to be Panthers, and 93% said they're grateful to be part of this community. You're thinking, wow, Frankfort High School is really a great school, isn't it? And Mr. Stapleton is probably texting someone right now to get that data point posted on your website. Aggregate numbers combining all of you in a provable measured statistic make things feel powerful and tangible. They provide the lever upon which worlds are moved. You know this wild fact. 86% of you said they believe your generation will change the world for the better. Thanks for that. We need you now. And you're right, never doubt that. History may seem to unfold as an inexorable narrative, but we all do have our say in how the future develops. And as the newly minted adults with the most road in front of you, you have it more than anyone. Lesson 2. What people do matters as much as what they say. Having praised the power of the aggregate, it's also important to underscore the importance and consequence of the individual. We use data as indicators, but change happens with doers. And I look out upon this gathering of doers. 93% of you, individually, you work together to make up the aggregate, said they expect to personally change the world for the better. It may seem hard to square the power of the aggregate with the importance of the individual, but history is replete with those who harness the power of crowds. Let me give you 2 examples from the last century. In December 1931, a British politician looked the wrong way while crossing Fifth Avenue in New York City and was hit by a car, very nearly killing him. 14 months later, an unemployed bricklayer fired 6 shots at a U.S. politician in Miami, missing him, but hitting and killing the mayor of Chicago, standing next to him. How different would the last century have been if that New York driver had killed Winston Churchill, or if those bullets had slain President-elect Franklin Roosevelt? I know it makes me feel old citing that. And one need not be a historical figure to make a tangible difference in the world. After all, what is the aggregate but individuals' collected works and actions? Robert F. Kennedy observed, "Few will have the greatness to bend history, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and in the total, all of these acts will be written the history of this generation." Lesson 3. Facts aren't always what they seem. Have you ever heard a poll number of statistics that found that 18% of Americans believe the sun revolved around the earth? Come on. In 2013, Public Religion Research Institute survey found that 4 in 10 Americans believe that God helps determine who wins individual sports games. I'm not sure what he has against the Lions or the Tigers. Another one, this comes from you guys in your survey. 43% of you said that you worry about tripping on stage during graduation. Of course, the ones who will actually trip up here will be the 50% who aren't worried. I've jinxed you. You're welcome. Look, I said at the top, polling is an exercise in teasing out the nuance and in sorting often muddled and sometimes contradictory public views. It's often imprecise and at best misleading. And as in everyday life, people sometimes cherry-pick statistics and numbers, highlighting what helps their case and ignoring what doesn't. My point here isn't to promote mistrust or cynicism. As 21st century teenagers, you've probably got that covered. But to remind you to approach the world curiously and critically, which brings me to my 4th lesson. Get out and observe the world. Talk to different people, listen, actively listening to what they're saying. And as importantly, what they're not saying. You're graduating into a dazzling hurricane of information. Today we see more, read more, and know more people than at any time in history, without leaving our couches. This can be deceiving, however. We tend to seek information which confirms what we already believe. This is all human nature, but we've constructed systems, social media, for example, which reinforce these reflexes. And we run the danger of mistaking near unlimited access of information for perfect or even adequate consumption of information. Again, you guys get this. Half of you disagreed with the statement that social media has had a positive impact on the world. We're living through a paradoxical tension. With all the world available to us, we too easily cocoon ourselves in a filter of bubbles of our own creation, which can distort our view of the world. We owe it to ourselves and to each other to get outside our comfort zones and remind ourselves that the world is bigger than we might think. The good news is 93% of you want to go travel the world. That's awesome. Do it. All this leads to my last lesson. Ditch your assumptions. You are entering a world of churn and change. It's both terrifying and thrilling because of its unpredictability. Imagine having a conversation with your parents at the turn of the century in the year 2000 based on what you know today. They wouldn't believe you. 9/11, a war in Afghanistan which outlasted any, the iPhone, Wi-Fi, GPS, COVID, Ukraine, and most importantly, you guys existing. It's a reminder for all of us that we should have some humility as we try to divine what comes next. Keep your mind open and people will surprise you. Life will surprise you. You will surprise you. And one of my favorite authors once wrote, "You have brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose." The future, your future, our future is a mystery awaiting your resolution. I, for one, cannot wait to see what you do with it. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Will. And we appreciate you being here. It's been a special privilege to have you with us today. At this time, please welcome our senior high band and their conductor, Mr. Eric Joslin. Thank you, Mr. Joslin and Senior High Band. To be recognized as the class salutatorian, a student must finish his or her high school career with the second highest cumulative grade point average from the beginning of freshman year through the first semester of their senior year. This year's salutatorian finished with a 3.98 grade point average. In addition to excelling in the classroom, this young man has participated in football, basketball, and golf. He was also involved in student council, the National Honor Society, and in the class leadership council. In his spare time, he enjoys weightlifting, sports, eating, and helping youth. He is the son of Josh and Christy Mills and will attend Albion College in the fall. I introduce to you the 2022 Frankfort High School salutatorian, Adam Mills.
Good afternoon. On behalf of my fellow classmates, I'd like to welcome family, friends, special guests, teachers, support staff, administrators, and alumni to the 140th commencement at Frankfort High School. Thank you for being here to celebrate the hard work and dedication of the class of 2022. We're blessed to live in a community that cares so deeply about our school and the well-being of the students. There's no question that the past few years have been challenging, but we overcame the obstacles. The entire school community rose above to provide the best experience possible. Our teachers and staff are the best. I'd like to give a special shout out to Mrs. Harvey for putting together the best take-home project kits for ceramics, and Mr. Thompson for engaging quality discussion and being available throughout the virtual learning experience. Thank you both for making it less miserable. I would also like to thank Mrs. Smith for always caring and having my back. You've been a great life coach. And Stapes and Mr. Towsley for the tremendous support and countless hours you put in to make FHS the best in the Northwest. And Coach Schindler for being a great communicator, coach, and mentor. You've made everyone you've coached a better person. Not to mention, PSS is pretty sweet. To my classmates, up until today, our paths have been similar and mapped out for us. After today, each of us is responsible for choosing our own path. We've been through a lot together, but I'm confident that we're prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. I'd like to share a few words of advice that should help us along the way. Take nothing for granted. Nobody owes you anything. If you want it, you have to earn it. Always strive to be a better person than you were yesterday. Hard work requires 110% effort. Work hard and stay dedicated to your dreams. Learn more from your failures than from your successes. Be truthful. It helps you sleep better at night. And believe in yourself and stay strong. I'm excited to see what the future holds for all of us. Our paths will be different and may change, but they will be ours. Make the best of your opportunities. God bless this class, and God bless America. Thank you. But I have one more thing. It's Blake Miller's birthday today, so can we all wish him a happy birthday on 3? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Blake. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. While finishing number 1 in her class with a 4.0 grade point average, this student has participated on the track, basketball, and cross-country teams and was a member of Student Council, National Honor Society, and was also on the Class Leadership Council. In her spare time, she likes to hang out and watch movies with Taylor Myers. She is the daughter of Dal and Jenny Townsend and will be attending Hillsdale College in the fall. Congratulations to our 2022 co-valedictorian at Frankfort High School, Tara Townsend.
Thank you, Mr. Stapleton. Oh boy. Hey everyone, thank you all for being here today. First, I'd like to recognize my parents and family for everything they've done for me and continue to do for me as I develop as a student athlete. Special thanks to my brother, Adam Townsend, for listening to me rant for hours upon end while he's trying to study for a test, and my sister for actually showing up today. I'd like to continue my thank yous by appreciating my coaches. Hopefully you know who you are, but if not, I'll go ahead and list you guys off real quick here. Thank you to Mr. Walred, Mrs. Loney, Mr. Thor, Mr. Brame, Mrs. Crompton, Mrs. Stevenson, Mr. Resnich, Mrs. Bankston, Mr. Nerg, Mr. Beeman, Mr. and Mrs. Eilers, Mr. Towsley, Mr. Spalding, Mr. Schindler, and of course, my dad. You have all had an incredible impact on me, whether you realize it or not, and I am grateful for every bit of wisdom I have received from you guys, so thank you. Moving on. My hands are shaking so much right now. For those of you who don't know, my track team and I were able to compete in the MHSAA Division IV State Championships yesterday down in Hudsonville. During that meet, I met a very special man, an official, who stood at the finish line waving a flag up and down to signify when the next race could begin. At one point during the meet, I thanked him for volunteering and giving up his Saturday to stand around for 10 hours in the heat. The official, who turned out to be the superintendent of Hudsonville High School, says to me, "I don't do it to get rich here, in the pockets. I do it to get rich here, in the heart." It has become evident to me that God represents himself through people who have lived accordingly to the way he intended. Our purpose on earth is not to get lost in the dark, but to be a light to others. Finally, I would like to remind the audience here of a very famous quote by a very famous man. "There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit." That is by Ronald Reagan. Good people do things for other people. That's it, the end. Thank you all for coming. I hope everyone has a lovely afternoon, and happy birthday to Skylar Worden. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. While finishing number one in her class with a 4.0 grade point average, this student has participated on the track and wrestling teams and was a member of the National Honor Society, Student Council, and Interact Club. In her spare time, she likes longboarding and hiking. She is the daughter of Dan Clapp and Ivy Lane and will attend Ursuline College in the fall. Congratulations to our 2022 co-valedictorian at Frankfort High School, Briellen Clapp.
Hello. I would like to start off with the biggest thank you possible to a few Frankfort High School staff members who contributed significantly to my experience at this school. That thank you is extended out towards Ms. Hubbard, Brown, Levine, Harvey, Pencil, Hollenbeck, Evans, and Nerg, also known as Miss Julie to us. These are unforgettable people that have done unforgettable things. People that have made a forever impact on my life. I thank them for creating a safe space for their students, for showing up, for extending their kindness to people of all sorts, and for encouraging me to speak when not everybody wanted to listen. For my personal life, I hold the absolute most love and gratitude in my heart for my mom, dad, my twin sister Kian, my brother Kale, my stepmom, my co-workers, Gregory, Kayla, Grace, and Ivy, for blessing me with the opportunity to be a part of their lives, for experiencing life with me, and for listening to me when not everyone wanted to listen. But beyond all of those people, I thank you to everyone for being here today, for getting up yesterday, and thank you for when you get up again tomorrow, which is incredibly important. Okay. A few weeks ago, when reality started setting in that I would be so lucky to have time to speak in front of all of you, I was a little lost, to say the least, because there is so much going on, and there's so much to think about, and so much that I wanted to say. I guess I have been reflecting most on and feel the greatest need to speak about my experience in this town and some things I would like to share with all of you. Frankfort, Michigan is beautiful. I cannot deny my privilege growing up here. Also undeniable are the harmful things going on around the world, in which we all have a role in. That being said, as my high school experience comes to an end, and through this opportunity to speak in front of all of you, I will leave you with this. To each of my classmates sitting here today, and everyone also as well, whatever part you played yesterday, whoever you are today, there's always something you can do by tomorrow, ways you can be better, and things you can contribute towards the fight for equality. Because the world will not wait for you as you sit idly on the sidelines, ignoring issues because they do not affect you, or if you refuse to acknowledge your role in dismantling racist, misogynistic, and anti-LGBTQIA+ systems. The world will not wait for you if you continue to refuse validation and acknowledgement for those in the LGBTQIA+ community, and will not wait as you make jokes of the struggles of the marginalized groups. The world will not wait for the next generation to address the climate crisis, nor will it wait if we continue to promote a war on the bodies of those who can have children. The world will not wait for you if you can't respect people when they tell you no, and the world will not wait for you, and not wait for Frankfort. And it's not just that the world won't wait, it's that it can't wait. We have to do something. Mistakes will be made, I already have made plenty, but of much greater importance than the fear of making mistakes are the ways in which we prepare to avoid them and fix them. Of much greater importance is the work we do to address inequalities. Whether you're going right into the workforce, becoming a teacher, mechanic, or architect, there are ways in which you can weave inclusive work into any career path that you choose, even in small ways. Things as small as listening to marginalized groups and what they need, learning to respect identities other than our own, or understanding the importance of issues even when we are not affected by them. Just know there is always something to do. And in addition to that, I would love to say that there is nothing more important than love. And in honor of Pride Month, happy Pride Month, but also to finish, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To finish off, just know, show up, listen, represent, and hold yourself and the people around you accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianne. While finishing number one in her class with a 4.0 grade point average, this student has participated in National Honor Society, the Interact Club, Benzie Votes, and was a student representative on the Frankfort, Alberta Area Schools School Board. In her spare time, she likes to read, travel, and be outdoors. She is the daughter of Tom Kramer and Char Kramer and will attend Harvard University in the fall. Congratulations to our 2022 co-valedictorian at Frankfort High School, Willa Kramer.
To begin, I would just like to say the words that have been said so many times already. Thank you. To my parents, my family, my friends, my teachers, the people who taught me lessons and maybe never even realized it. As we linger at this precipice, we are confronted with all the visions of who we are, who we have been, and who we might be. And this is, of course, overwhelming. It feels all too easy in this cataclysmic moment to allow ourselves to be consumed by what-ifs and maybes, to lose ourselves to dreams of forever unrealized potential, to live not in the moment, but in our minds. In the face of all this, it is far easier to resign ourselves to inconsequential existences, lives governed by the perspective that we are but specks on a floating rock in an incomprehensibly vast, expansive universe. But this necessarily neglects the fact that we are not only individuals, but members of communities, whole masses of people, collectives made diverse and invaluable specifically because their composition is one of wildly disparate perspectives and experiences. We are all those people who have come before us, all those people who will come after us, all those people who exist alongside us now. Our stories are inherited, are retold, are reshaped in light of the revolutionary changes which occur throughout our world. We are, paradoxically, both beginnings and endings, experiencing both beginnings and endings, dreaming of both beginnings and endings. This duality is not impossibly inconceivable, but inherently necessary. We must reckon with the brilliance of the unknown and the unknowable, must seek out coherence in the face of a universe of unfathomably diverse possibility, must understand that questions are far more valuable than answers, for to provoke change and exploration is undeniably more compelling than the destructive finality of uncompromising rightness. There is far too much nuance woven throughout this world for us to deny the impossibility of absolution, to refuse to change our minds even as the world allows us the space in which to do so, to fear being wrong when our missteps are often the catalysts which ignite the most radical transformations. Nearly the entirety of what I've done, what I've accomplished, what I've experienced during this last year has been predicated on the notion that I'll never know what could happen unless I try, unless I do it, unless I reach out toward the horizon and demand that the world open up to my grasp. I give it every opportunity to slam itself shut at the brush of my fingertips. Too many opportunities, perhaps, in all the years I spent doubting myself and the world as a whole, but it didn't. Nor did any of the people who surrounded and supported me shut themselves off, allowing me to resign myself to forced silence and insignificance. And that, in itself, is so significant that I can never see myself, the communities I inhabit, or this world in its vast entirety as anything other than significant. In every moment, every detail, every infinitesimal minutia of human existence, there is something so incredibly remarkable. It took me a long time to see it, so I don't blame anyone who hasn't recognized it yet, or who has witnessed it and then seen it fade. I ask, regardless, that we all remember that it's there, always. For the honest truth is that we are doomed to a future of bleak destruction only if the assumption of such is the framework through which we face our collective challenges, and therefore with which we manifest our own consequences. What we face now is a fight for the future and for the future of generations yet to come, to accept the foundational elements of human nature which provide us with the capability of bringing about revolutionary and radical change, and then to act powerfully through that perspective. This is not something I realized, processed, or translated on my own. It is a synthesis of all the people in my life, all the books I've ever read, all the classes which got me up early and kept me up late, and all the incredible potential which exists throughout our world. It is only because I know that there are always opportunities to change your mind that I'm willing and able to stand here and say this, to have attained this honor in the first place. Rather than succumb to silence and passivity, we must choose instead to learn, to explore, to face down what would be a world of black and white and paint it instead in the hues of abstraction and ambiguity, of answering one question with another, of challenging narratives and rewriting the story. We must choose to exist beyond the harshly drawn lines set by generations past, and in a space where knowledge is pursued honestly, intently, fully. For being wrong only means that you have more to learn. We would all do well to remember that. Thank you.
Thank you, Willa. We will now be presenting the diplomas to the class of 2022. Please hold your applause until the last graduate has been awarded the diploma.
Coy Theodore Janus Aldrich. Griffin Lennox Anderson. Clay David Bigley. Hunter Owen Cedarholm. Briella Marlene Clapp. Kian Elizabeth Clapp. Madison Paige Klaus.
Thank you for speaking.
Jared Anthony Cox. Wesley Paul Gerard Trevino. Ethan William Evans. Logan Patrick Foster. Miranda Elizabeth Guzman Schrick. Tucker John Hubbard. Willa Mariah Kramer. Cameron Prescott Lewis. Adam Tanner Mills. Taylor Anne-Marie Myers. Jasmine Elizabeth Sue Ness. Emily Susan Nunez. Matthew Paul David Robert Opdyke. Hunter Lee Osborne. Devin Patrick Payne. Michaela Lynn Elizabeth Reed Lovely. Lucille May Resnich. Kayla Dawn Smeltzer. Clarissa K. Stevens. Ezekiel Andon Thompson. Tara Carol Townsend. Spencer John Van Tol. Grace Olivia Walbett. Ryan Bradley Whitcup. Emma Grace Elizabeth Yeagle. Blake Ellison Miller.
Graduates, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, the students standing before you have met the graduation requirements of the state of Michigan and of the Frankfort, Alberta Area Schools Board of Education. I am pleased and honored to present to you the graduating class of 2022. Congratulations.
job, Will. Thank you.